Perched atop a rocky plateau overlooking the Dead Sea, Masada seems almost serene today, sun-baked cliffs rising from the desert like a fortress frozen in time. But over 2,000 years ago, this isolated mountaintop was the site of one of the most extraordinary and desperate standoffs in human history. The siege of Masada was not just a battle, it was a remarkable clash of strategy, ingenuity, endurance, and human willpower. The secrets of Masada reveal how ancient warfare was as much about engineering, planning, and psychology as it was about swords, shields, and sheer courage. Masada's story begins in 73 CE, following the destruction of the Second Temple in Jerusalem during the First Jewish-Roman War. After the fall of the city, pockets of Jewish rebels fled into the wilderness to escape Roman vengeance. Among them were the Sicarii, an extremist faction led by Eleazar ben Yair, known for their daring raids and fierce independence. Around 960 men, women, and children found refuge on Masada, a naturally fortified plateau nearly 400 meters above the surrounding desert. Its sheer cliffs and isolated location made it nearly impregnable, a perfect stronghold for those determined to resist Rome's might. The Romans, however, were nothing if not relentless. Lucius Flavius Silva, commander of the 10th Legion, brought a force estimated at 10,000 men, including legionaries, auxiliary units, and engineers. Their mission was clear: destroy the Sicarii, reclaim control, and send a warning to all who might defy Roman authority. The Romans were experts in siege warfare, famed for their discipline, logistics, and ability to construct fortifications or breach walls with astonishing speed. Masada, isolated though it was, could not withstand the ingenuity of Roman engineering. The Romans began by encircling the fortress, cutting off all access and attempting to starve the defenders into submission. Masada had limited supplies, but the Sicarii were prepared. Ancient cisterns carved into the rock held water, and food stores had been stockpiled to survive months under siege. Yet the Romans brought their own secret weapon: the ability to reshape the terrain itself. To reach the fortress walls, the Romans constructed an enormous earthen ramp, filling a valley with stones, timber, and earth. This ramp, painstakingly built under the watchful eyes of the Sicarii above, allowed them to move siege towers and battering rams toward the cliffs, applying both physical and psychological pressure. Archaeological evidence shows the scale and sophistication of this project, revealing a feat of military engineering that still impresses modern observers. Inside Masada, the Sicarii faced an impossible dilemma. They could not defeat the Romans in open combat, and their supplies would eventually run out. Josephus, the Jewish historian who chronicled the siege, records a chilling decision. Rather than surrender and face certain enslavement or death at Roman hands, the defenders chose mass suicide. Eleazar ben Yair convinced his followers that death at their own hands was preferable to humiliation and oppression. Families were gathered, and one by one, the rebels took their lives, leaving only a handful of survivors who would later recount the tragedy. This act, shocking in its scale and determination, has echoed through history as a symbol of ultimate defiance and human resolve. The Siege of Masada teaches profound lessons about warfare and human behavior. From the Roman perspective, it was a masterclass in engineering, patience, and psychological strategy. The construction of the ramp demonstrated their ability to adapt to terrain and systematically overcome natural defenses. Every stone moved, every log positioned, reflected careful planning and relentless discipline. Even for the mightiest empire, attacking a small, fortified force in such a remote location required ingenuity and coordination, showcasing the Romans' unmatched military capability. From the defenders' side, Masada illustrates the power of morale, leadership, and psychological resilience. The Sicarii transformed an isolated plateau into a fortress capable of withstanding a numerically superior force. Their final decision, though tragic, demonstrated unity, determination, and a refusal to submit to a seemingly unstoppable enemy. The story of Masada is not only about the mechanics of war, but also about the human spirit and the choices people make when facing inevitable defeat. Archaeology has provided remarkable insights into Masada's siege. Excavations reveal remnants of palaces, storage facilities, cisterns, and defensive walls, confirming the strategic planning of the Sicarii. Artifacts such as pottery shards, weapon fragments, and the remains of Roman camps at the base of the plateau tell a story of preparation, siegecraft, and the scale of the operation. These findings reinforce historical accounts and provide a tangible connection to a dramatic event that has fascinated historians for centuries. Masada's significance extends far beyond the battlefield. For modern Israel, it is a powerful symbol of heroism, resistance, and national identity. Soldiers in the Israeli Defense Forces visit the site to reflect on lessons of courage, leadership, and determination under pressure. Globally, Masada captivates historians, filmmakers, and storytellers who are drawn to its dramatic narrative and the extreme choices faced by its defenders. The story challenges our understanding of morality, courage, and the lengths to which humans will go to preserve dignity and autonomy. One of the most striking aspects of the siege is the combination of natural geography, human ingenuity, and psychological warfare. The Romans relied on meticulous engineering, patience, and tactical precision to neutralize the fortress. Sicarii relied on morale, leadership, and the symbolic power of their stand to resist. Together, these elements created a story where every decision, where to place stones, how to ration water, how to maintain morale, was critical to survival. The siege of Masada demonstrates that wars are won not only by weapons but by the mind and the human spirit. Masada also highlights the limits of conquest. Hannibal's campaigns in Europe and the Roman conquests across the Mediterranean often demonstrated that even the most powerful armies could be thwarted by ingenuity, terrain, and determined opponents. Masada, in the desert, mirrors this principle on a smaller scale. A tiny group with careful planning and unity could hold off the largest empire in the world, at least temporarily, and leave an enduring legacy. For centuries, the story of Masada has inspired debates about morality, leadership, and survival. Was the mass suicide an act of cowardice, or the ultimate expression of autonomy? Could the Sicarii have survived if they had surrendered, or was death truly preferable to life under Roman rule? These questions continue to provoke thought and reflection. They remind us that history is not merely a collection of dates and battles, but a complex tapestry of human choices and consequences. Ultimately, the siege of Masada is a story of contrasts. The relentless power and discipline of Rome versus the determination, ingenuity, and courage of the Sicarii, the fleeting triumph of military might versus the enduring influence of moral and psychological resistance. It is a tale that teaches timeless lessons. Preparation, ingenuity, leadership, and human resolve can define the outcome of events even more than numbers or brute force. Masada is a testament to the extremes of human experience, and its secrets continue to captivate the world. If you want to explore more epic moments from history, understand incredible feats of strategy, engineering, and human will, make sure to hit that like button. Drop a comment about what stunned you most about Masada, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into history's most fascinating and mind-blowing stories. Because Masada isn't just an ancient fortress, it's a monument to human courage, ingenuity, and the choices we make when facing impossible odds, and its lessons are still relevant today.